Congratulations, Harkiran, on converting the final call to IIM Ahmedabad. Let's start with your file, your CAT percentile, your sectionals, and the B schools that you have converted.
Thank you so much, sir. And right, so I'm a company secretary by profession and I'm a law grad. So this was my first attempt at CAT and my percentile was 99.41. My verbal percentile was around 99.9, logical around 89.5, and my quant percentile was around 95.7. My percentile combined with the academic diversity I have, I was able to secure a call from all the B schools that I applied for. And I was fortunate enough to convert quite a few of them.
Right. So apart from Ahmedabad, which all did you convert?
So I was able to convert IIM Lucknow, Kozhikode, and Indore. And I am waitlisted for IIM Calcutta. And I was able to convert FMS Delhi and MDI and all the CAP calls.
Great. Okay. You were earlier a commerce student, and then you moved to law, and then now management. So how this transition happened, and what is your reason for pursuing law and then management?
So CS and law is basically corporate law background, and they are said to be sister fields because they complement each other. And so that was always the plan to pursue them jointly. The MBA came into the picture because the role of a company secretary is focused on compliance, just the compliance requirements of a company. But I was more interested towards how business strategies work, how decisions are taken in a business, including compliance. So for that, I believed pursuing MBA is necessary for me. And so that is how MBA came into the picture.
All right. So you were working also for 9 months, I think, as a CS or a lawyer?
Yes.
Was that?
I was working in a business consultancy, a local business consultancy, Kanpur based only. So I was working as an associate consultant.
Okay. All right. So while preparing for CAT, yes, you were working?
No, sir. It was my last year of LLB, and plus I'm from a non-maths background. So I had to put in some more efforts, and this was my first attempt. So that is why I decided not to work at that point of time.
Okay, so LLB has completed last year?
Yes, I completed it last month.
Okay, okay. So basically you took a break for preparation.
Yes, I did.
Okay, okay, great. What hurdles did you face initially while preparing for CAT?
So, maths is the most obvious one because I had been out of touch for quite a while. I had not studied maths after 10th standard. So that was the biggest hurdle. I had to start right from the NCERTs because I was a little hazy on the basics as well. So that was the first hurdle I faced. Then most of my education has been quite theoretical based, all theoretical subjects, law, as we know. So studying practical subjects, practicing, attempting multiple questions, that was a bit of a change, a shift. So if that can be called a hurdle. And the major hurdle that I faced was in quant with respect to algebra. I was good in arithmetic. I was pretty decent in geometry. But algebra, as long as I was doing the basic questions, I was good. But the moment I switched to more advanced ones, I was finding it hard to cope. So that was another hurdle that I faced.
Okay. I have seen that arithmetic is something which all people are kind of familiar to because they have studied it till 10th at least.
Till 10th.
There's something which we have seen all around us, like mixtures, allegations, time, distance, because we every day we travel and we can just feel things in arithmetic. It becomes easy or at least familiar for people. But if someone prepares only for arithmetic, so would he or she be able to have a decent percentile in quant section?
Just arithmetic might not. You are really tempting fate at that point of time because you don't know what the pattern is for that year. I would say I was fortunate because in my that day, the slot I had, around 50% of the paper was arithmetic and questions that I was pretty confident in. So I was able to ace it. Had that been, had that not been the case, I would have been in deep trouble.
Mm.
So uh, you should at least, all my sections were strong except for algebra. And algebra also, I could do the basic questions. So if one section is weak, I would advise that you really, really work hard on the other ones. Just make sure you don't uh, make an error in the questions of the of the other topics. So you really have to, aim for 95 to 100% accuracy. Then you might be able to.
Well, arithmetic normally has the weightage of 40%, and then algebra has around 30 to
Yes,
5%. So both of
30.
them are, I would
Yes.
say, almost equally important. But let's say if someone is
Mhm.
in algebra, then he or she can prepare for geometry or modern maths.
Geometry.
But arithmetic should be like 10% correct. Then only a decent percentile would be there.
Yes. Then only you can really survive. Yes.
Okay, right. What resources did you use for preparing for CAT?
So I started with brushing up the NCERTs right from sixth standard, the number system portion. I started from that, and I brushed up NCERTs till I believe 11th standard, till the 11th standard NCERT. And apart from that, I was registered for the ABC batch. So it was mostly about how much I could practice. So I had, that was a great resource, honestly, because there was just so many questions and I used to practice all day. Once I was done with the classes, the video lectures, and the other resources also, after that, I just used to practice all day. So that really helped. I did purchase some other books, the authors that we all know. I did, but ended up not really using them that much.
Okay. What is, can you give details about this IIM ABC batch? What is it exactly?
So the ABC batch, the iQuanta ABC batch was basically, we were provided this whole repository of questions and for all the three sections. And uh, there were, I believe, roughly 7,000 questions in all, if I'm not wrong. So that for all the three sections, I believe it was, you could not do any more than that. It
Right.
was quite sufficient because there was sufficient practice for all levels of difficulty, and that was quite helpful. And apart from that, mocks and all I took. So I took the iQuanta mocks also, I took the SimCat mocks also. So that was, of course, there.
Okay.
So all this was there.
How do you come to know about iQuanta and when did you join it?
So I got to know about iQuanta through Quora, actually. I was basically, I did not want to join a class where I would have to go at a set time and sit there and study for 4 hours and then come back. I wanted to study at my own pace. So I was looking for some good online options, and I was researching, and iQuanta I came across on Quora, and then I put some time and I researched and I liked it. I liked how things were conducted. So I was a part of the first batch. The first batch. I joined around January, I believe January 2022. And the classes had started soon, of course. But my actual serious preparation started around, I would say, June,
Okay.
because I had just gotten done with my LLB exams and my next exams happened right now. So that time was completely free. So my serious preparation started from June. So for anyone who's wondering if they can prepare in 4 to 5 months, because I do end up seeing that question quite a lot on the group, it's very much possible, but you really have to put some more efforts there.
Okay, you mentioned that you went through or brushed your basics through NCERT. So how much time did you put in NCERT?
Maybe a couple of hours a day. It used to go side by side.
Okay.
When I was doing number system, I finished all the number system topics. When I was doing geometry, likewise. That's how it went.
Okay. So when you're preparing for CAT, how was, if you want to define one day of yours, like when do you sleep? When did you wake up? What was the plan? Did you do something for meditation, exercises, keeping yourself concentrated, or any kind of anxiety. So how you deal with all that, and what was your daily schedule, more or less?
Uh, so I have always been an early riser. So I would be up by, I believe, 6:30 every day. And after that, I would try to go for a jog or a walk, anything. Because I believe what happens when you sit at home and study, you end up missing out on sunlight. And that can really mess with your head. So I had started feeling all sluggish. So then I made sure to get some sunlight every day.
Hmm.
And then I would come home and I would actually take the classes, the recorded sessions in the morning, because that is when I felt most productive.
Right.
So I would take the classes in the morning, and after that I would end up practicing most of the day, and for a couple of hours in the evening I teach English literature to high school students. So I would teach, then in the evening also I would go for a small walk, and then at night I would practice maths, because I think that's the best time to practice maths.
Hmm.
And yeah, that was about it. It was quite a homely kind of timetable.
Okay, okay. How is the performance in the mock tests?
I if I'm being entirely honest, terrible.
Mhm.
Because I initially, when I started, uh, I don't know, I think the pressure got to me of, I mean, I was doing well practicing, but the pressure got to me, and suddenly my first mock, and I absolutely crashed it. So, but then things calmed down, and then suddenly my percentile started increasing. But even then, I did not end up attempting a lot of mocks, maybe around 20, not more than that. I was more focused on practicing sectionals and practicing individual questions by setting the timer myself. That I did a lot. I did a lot of that.
Okay, after every mock, you must have analyzed your mistakes and
Yes.
years of improvement. So how much time did you give to analysis of one mock?
I would take a break of around 15 minutes, and then I would analyze it for about 35 to 40 minutes. So it would take me roughly an hour to analyze the book.
1 hour. All right. Okay. What are the three most important things which a CAT aspirant must keep in mind? Any like three, if you can think of any three important things, what would they be?
Uh, don't be overconfident in any section. It will land you on your backside if you are overconfident. Even if you are good at it, make sure you practice.
Right.
Uh, do not leave the interview preparation till the time you get the result. Keep things positive, keep your thinking positive, and assume that you will clear the exam and you will sit for interviews, and start preparing for the interview side by side. That was an error I made, and initially it shook me a little bit. But yeah, you should really start preparing while preparing for CAT. Keep yourself brushed, current affairs, your graduation subjects, most importantly. So that is one mistake everyone should avoid. And if, God willingly, you do end up sitting for the interviews, uh, don't read anything and everything relating to current affairs. Stick to something, because you can't possibly remember everything under the sun, can't know everything under the sun. So, based on your profile, you will be asked questions. Even the current affairs will be related to that. Nobody asked me questions about Elon Musk. I was always about asked questions about the Indian business industry and relating to law and all those questions that others were not asked. So keep yourself focused to what is in relevance to your profile. So these three things should be kept in mind.
Right. So you have already kind of indicated, but I would like to ask what kind of questions were asked in different B schools.
They were, after a while, they had become a little predictable, because I started understanding that what someone of my profile can be asked. So initial interviews, I was also brushing up. the union budget, and at that time the budget had just come out, and I was reading the union budget and the entire Adani controversy and all of these things. Not asked even once.
Oh,
My questions were mostly related to the National Company Law Tribunal, or any insolvency cases that were going on at present, or any relating to shares and listing and all these technical questions that were happening in the global scenario at that moment. So my questions were related to that, completely relating to my profile.
that were in the ambit of your graduation stream and also the
Yes,
law, right?
yes,
Oh, okay. So this is
yes,
something that you should keep in mind, that the subjects that you have and even the contemporary issues would be asked if they surround that subject. Okay, okay.
yes,
Great, great. Tell me, like you were a part of iQuanta GDPI VAT course as well, right? And I think we discussed about
yes,
a lot of things, and there were some kind of hurdles or kind of setbacks which happened in the initial interviews. So how did
yes.
you cope with it?
So the interview in question, that was a wake up call, if there ever is one. I mean, it really, I have been someone who doesn't really have issues with public speaking. So I figured I would be able to handle any situation confidently. But how sometimes the interviews progress in a way that you're unable to handle whatever the conversation that is going on at the moment. So that one interview really taught me how to keep my calm. Like, even if the interview is not going according to how I predicted it to be, I had to remember that it is a conversation, not an interrogation.
Mhm.
That was the one thing that that interview taught me, that they're just trying, the panelist is just trying to talk to me, they're trying to get to know me, nothing else. uh, I won't name the college, but in one of the interviews, just to shake me a little bit, I was called jobless, right? So to my face. So if I had not, if this one interview that I was not able to clear, if that had not happened, I would have crashed that interview also, the one where I was called jobless. And I later ended up converting that one,
Oh, wow.
because I was just very calm, and I handled it. I gave my reasons, and I was like, so what if I'm not working right? So that is, sometimes the environment becomes really intense. Sometimes the panelists are so sweet. I was offered aloo tikkis to eat inside. And sometimes, things can get a little heated. So you just have to remain calm. That is the one thing you have to remember.
Right. So it's like more of wisdom and bit of intelligence. That
Bit
happens,
of intelligence.
right?
Yes, yes. You have to remember that they're just trying to talk, nothing else.
Right. So let's towards the end of this discussion, how would you rate iQuanta and the pedagogy
Mhm.
and everything? How any feedback that you want to give?
So I honestly had great fun studying, because, like I said, I wanted something that was paced according to my requirements. Like, I could study when I wanted to. So, in that aspect, anybody who's looking for that kind of setup, and they are not averse to being a little hardworking, because when you are not sitting inside a coaching, you need to put in some effort from your end. So, anybody who's not averse to a bit of hard work, I believe iQuanta is great. I mean, really good. If you don't want spoon feeding, you are good. You are set. And the GDPI course also as a part of it. So, I mean, even that was great. So, I really got to know what others brought to the table, what competition I had, what future classmates I could possibly get. So, that exposure is a must, given that you have studied at home and you haven't really, got to know any people in the physical setup. So the GDPI course really helped with that, introduced me to potential classmates.
In fact, there are many, you might be meeting them in the class.
Yes, I will.
Okay,
I
then,
will. Yes.
Arvind, I'm really happy that this is a kind of an ongoing relationship which we had with you. for the last 1 year. And then even in the future, if you have any kind of doubts, problems, you want to discuss it over a call or a mail, whatever. So we will always be there. And I wish you
Right.
best for your future.
Thank you.
Just as you have made us proud.
Thank you so much, sir.
Keep doing that.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.